Y'all gotta get fired up, man. We out here for a great cause. We appreciate everybody coming out. I definitely want to just start by asking for a round of applause for everybody who came out to participate in the Dr. Martin Luther King ceremony. We appreciate everybody. We thank everybody who see to help make this happen. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Morgan Clevenger who helped organize this thing. Can y'all make some noise? One last thing, can y'all make some noise for these kids? That's one of the things Dr. King fought for, and we appreciate everybody coming out on for this day to honor him and a long list of freedom fighters who paved the way in our community to be in the space and the position that we are today. We thank all our elected officials, all our men of clergy, all the men of faith that's here, and women of faith that came out to support us. Morgan, you want to...
Yes, okay, so why are we here? We're here to stand on freedom, right? We're here to stand on freedom. We know what we're coming into, right? We're coming into a time where we need to be hearing Dr. King's message of unity, peace, and nonviolence, right? So what do we mean when we say stand on freedom? We mean we have to stand together. We have to stand for each other, and we have to stand for ourselves, because we are not going to make it if we're not together, right? Now we're here because this is the original stand on freedom. This sacred ground where we at is the original stand for freedom. And New Orleans has been at the forefront of freedom and civil rights for over 300 years. And y'all know our very culture. When we come out on the street, it's about freedom, right? It's about saying we're free, and we're going to do this for us, by us, for us, right? So one of the reasons that we wanted to bring everybody together is so that we can continue this idea of unity. And you know, Seth and I work together on a lot of things, and we work with a lot of people. But what we want to see is that ripple effect spread out in the city, because we know starting today, things will be different. And we need to be ready. And we need to understand what Dr. King and the New Orleans freedom fighters, what they fought and bled and died for. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm going to be real. A lot of challenges came our way to do this, right? And, you know, people said, oh, it's going to be too cold. Oh, I don't know, I don't know. But when I said to them, don't you remember who fought, bled, and died, and went through the snow, and went to jail, and got beat up, and fire hoses, and dogs? If we can't come out for Dr. King in New Orleans, who are we, right? So sorry to be so passionate, but that's how I'm feeling right now. So blessings to y'all, and it's sunny here? Sunny? Okay. Yes, okay. So Pastor Green.
And we're going to turn it over to Pastor Green to open us up with a prayer.
First, before I open up the prayer, I really take this opportunity to bring Seth. I've been doing some stuff with him too, and as our sister said, Seth's been doing. It's vital that we come together and be as one, move as one. I'm going to actually be calling the clergy. Got to come out beside the four walls, be active in our community, support our community. Can't be about them, it got to be about for the people, period. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm out here in the community fighting. So I go in prayer. Father, we thank you right now. You're wonderful, matchless, marvelous name, your majestic ways. We thank you that we come to celebrate such a person who got martyred for freedom, who stood for freedom. And as we stand today, we take this same stand. We take a stand for freedom. God, we're willing to be a person that will stand up for justice, righteousness. Thank you for the harmony and the unity as we come as one, to be as one people, one mind, and that see what the people in New Orleans are doing, Father. So bless our children, bless our organizers who organized this great opportunity on today. We thank you in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We all say, amen. Amen.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
On behalf of Miles 46 and Minister Whitty, my name is Brother Horry. I am also the spy boy of the Career Wild West. I just want to thank Seth And all of those, especially these parents that's in the culture, in the Nation of Islam, we got something that we call standing on your post, walking your post in a manner. And when you're standing on your post and doing what you're supposed to do, these children are gonna live on forever. These children is not gonna go through or see the things that we went through. So all of you that I know that's here, from Malik to Tamika to the sister, to Brother Abe, to Seth, the sister here, continue to stand on your post, because we got plenty much work to do. Thank you.
Rabbi?
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here. I thought I would teach you a little Hebrew this afternoon. If you'll repeat after me, Hine, Ma, Tov. Hine Ma Tov. Which comes from the book of Psalms. It means, behold how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters come together. But we know that coming together isn't enough. It's not enough to pray together. We have to come together. We have to work together. We have to remember that we have much more that brings us together. We have much more in common than what divides us. And that all of us as God's children, we have not only the opportunity, but the obligation to help make this world a better place, to help make our community a better place. In August, right before Dr. King spoke the I Have a Dream speech, Rabbi Prince, who is his close friend, got up. He quoted the Torah and said, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But a neighbor isn't just the person who might happen to be next. Your neighbor is all of those around you who need your help. We're all in this together, taught Rabbi Prince. And he remembered the words of that pledge that his kids said every morning when they were in their classrooms. With liberty and justice for all, can't just be words, but rather that has to be our vision, our message, our obligation to come together, pray together, to work together to make that possible for all people. I'm proud to be here with you today. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Our council member, Freddie King, who supported this and supported a lot of our neighbors and everything we're trying to do. Go ahead, council member.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Freddie King, City Councilman of District C. I want to first thank Mars and St. Seth for this event on today, not giving in to the weather where people say may or can happen. So thank y'all for doing that. I want to thank these children for being here in this cold Monday afternoon. They could be inside doing anything or staying warm, but they're out there for a good cause. We appreciate that. Thanks again to the clergy, Masons, Shriners, parents. This is what MLK was about. Coming together, unison, being on one accord, preaching peace, preaching nonviolence. And I'm not here just as a elected official. I'm here as a son of this city, as a resident who wants to see a better New Orleans. It's not about elected officials doing this, about everybody here, about the kids, the preachers, the activists coming together, making a better city. And you have my word and my pledge to do everything I can as a citizen and elected official to make this city a better city, better. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Senator, come on up. This is our Senator Royce Duplessis.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to just begin by thanking God for this beautiful day.
Amen.
There was a lot of trepidation and a lot of concern around whether or not this event will go forward. As someone who is, I guess you'd say, part of government, we have decisions we have to make and recommendations we have to make to the public for public safety purposes. So I just want to thank God for having this sunshine on us right now, and thank Seth and Morgan for their fortitude, for their vision on bringing us all together, which I know is not going to be the last time we have this type of event. I have a message for the young people in particular, and I don't want to underestimate the wisdom of these young people because they are brilliant, but it's important that we remind them that Dr. King was not popular. He's celebrated in today's world, by all races, even people who don't support his policies and what he fought for, as some sort of unifying voice. But it's important to know that what he stood for and what he died for was not popular. He often stood alone. So to be a leader and to take courageous and bold steps sometimes means that you have to stand alone from what's popular. And as future leaders, it's important for our young people to know that. This is a multi-denominational, multi-racial gathering. And in order to achieve any type of progress, we're all going to have to come together. It can't be this side versus that side. It has to be us coming together. I think the rabbi talked about loving thy neighbor. That neighbor can't always be somebody that you like. It's easy to love somebody that you like, right? To truly exercise love means that you have to go above and beyond and love someone who you probably ain't the first person in your call on, right? That's really what it takes, because everything else is just words and being with the people who make you feel good. One of the quotes that I often cite, and I think Dr. King is certainly overquoted, but the one that really sticks in my mind as it relates to this particular time, given that there was just a peaceful transition up in Washington. Notice I emphasize the word peaceful. We often asking ourselves, what can we do during this time? Dr. King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But you have to keep moving forward. So I think my brother from the nation said we have to stand on our block. Whatever your responsibility is, whatever you can do within your square, just do it. And we all have to do our part to move our community forward in peace and love. I'm blessed and honored to represent you all. And let's stay unified. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Thank y'all so much. Bless you.
Right now, I'd like to introduce, now, Lumumba Moon, I'm going to have you help me with this.
They got a script.
Yeah, you got a script? Okay, these are our Prince Hall Masons. And one of the reasons, just to give you the intentionality of what we were doing, our route for this march was specifically based on the cultural places in Treme, the 6th Ward and the 7th Ward, that are really historically important to black culture, to New Orleans culture, to freedom. And that route included the Prince Hall Masonic Building on Basin Street. So we are very blessed to have the Prince Hall Masons here with us today, and I'm going to let them take it away.
Good afternoon, family.
Good afternoon.
My name is Brother Abraham Johnson. I'm a 33rd degree Prince Hall Mason. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Prince Hall Masonry is the oldest civil rights group in the country and has been. We have made an impactful contribution in this city dating back over 100 years. Currently, we have over 25 lodges that operate on the property that she just mentioned. We are happy to be here. We are a constant support. We hope that you will understand that we operate constantly behind the scenes. We're not here to be seen, we're here to do work. And it is in that spirit of Dr. King that we will not let temperature stop us. We will not let unfavorable circumstances stop us from continuing to express that legacy. This is Worshipful Master Lumumba Moulton, Crescent City Lodge number 274, one of the newest lodges in this city. And that is because while we are etched in conservative values, we are also a progressive organization. And we appreciate the work that everyone that is here has contributed to this. I would like to introduce to you, because this operation does not happen without there being concerted management and effort and leadership. And so the leader of the New Orleans division of the Prince Hall Masons is what we refer to as the District Deputy Grand Master. Our District Deputy Grand Master is none other than Keith G. Soignier Sr.
All right.
I bring you greetings from the most worshipful Prince Hall, Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons for the state of Louisiana. whereby the Honorable Dr. Ralph Slaughter presides as our 13th Grand Master. Myself, Keith G. Soignier Sr., District Deputy Grand Master for the best district in the state, District number 1, and William Gregory Jelks, my assistant. Again, good evening. I'm glad to see everybody out. Thank you for introducing me, although y'all just doing y'all job. Yeah, I got to clown a little bit because people that know me know I'm very lighthearted everywhere I go. However, Past Master Johnson said something that I don't think we realize too much. Behind the scenes, I'd like for everyone, whenever you get a chance, PBS, and whenever there is marches and there is speeches and there is documentaries about the whole bus boycott and everything else, I need you to see who's behind the scenes. I need you to watch and see. It's Prince Hall Mason. Prince Hall Masons was there at the start. When Thurgood Marshall came to 222 North Roman Street, historic St. James AME Church, and formed was now SCLC and the Baton Rouge bus boycott. That in mind, the Baton Rouge bus boycott. He did that funded by the Prince Hall Masons. He did that under the security of the Prince Hall Masons. As Past Master Johnson said, we've been around, but we've been behind the scenes. All this and all that looks nice on Sunday when you're walking around in the sun beating on all this. You look nice. But remember, whatever it was done for, it was done for futures. And this is the future. These young kids here will one day, I know they don't believe it, but will one day be looking at their kids saying, this is the future. They don't believe it now. They think they're going to be kids forever. But you're not going to be kids forever. But we have to do our job to make sure that they make it to here. And if you leave you with one thing, when Dr. King could have stayed at church and not gone out on the road and not countless efforts of protests and marches, he decided to do it with kids of his own that he left at home. He did that to make sure that his kids then and the kids of his generations had a better chance. Now, if everyone in this audience can understand, he did it for us because we are here right now. Ain't that amazing? He didn't know us. I didn't know Dr. King. But he did it for me. He did it for me. He did it so I can adorn this regalia and stand before you and give our testimony. So my hat's off again to Morgan Clevenger. My hat's off again to Seth Fitzgerald. My hat's off again to all the city officials and everybody that spoke. And we'll be kind of hanging around because a lot of folks are asking about Prince Hall Masonry. We lurk in the shadows, but you see us everywhere.
Keith, before you go, give him the Masons a round of applause. Because not only are they behind the scenes, but they also do a tremendous amount of community service. And we may not be aware of who they are, but they're doing the work. And I'd also like to bring up something else. One of our big supporters on this was State Rep Alonzo Knott. And he couldn't be here today, but he made sure that one of the oldest Masonic buildings is right across this park, Perseverance Hall, and it had fallen into disrepair. And Representative Knox has championed that restoration and has guided it to become fully restored. And in the next few months, we're all going to be coming together to do a ceremony and an event at the new restoration of Perseverance Hall. So we want to thank Representative Alonzo Knox for all of his support and his support for this event as well. And thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Appreciate you. Okay. Miss Susan, Sheriff Hudson, y'all. Come on. Come on. So, our Sheriff Susan Hudson, let me just say this. We started planning this, Les and I, a while back. This is our second annual, and Sheriff Susan stepped up and said, "We right behind you, we support you 100%. So I thank you for that. You support community all the time. We really appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Well, go ahead and tell us, share with us what you wanted to share.
Well, first I want to just say thank you. We thought the worst was coming in, so I had to make some decisions because we were worried about the weather. But look at that. Look at that. So it's just amazing. But I just want to say, honored to be here to support community leadership. I look at all these leaders out in the community who do so much. And I'm honored to always work with you and support you in that. I know that this sheriff supports community leadership. And if Dr. King could bring a whole nation together to fight Jim Crow, we can all come together to fight the new Jim Crow that's going on. And I want you to know that we're going to support you in that. I believe in community leadership. As an elected official, I need to do your work. So please know that if you have events like this, there's ways that we can support you. This sheriff believes in you. Thank you, and God bless.
And we'd also like to say that, so our original march may be rescheduled at another time, but we also have pivoted, and the sheriff has lovingly supplied our community meal, which is a tradition for our Dr. King celebration. So after we leave here, we'll be going to Homer Plessy School, which has also contributed their space for a community meal. So everybody's welcome.
Sorry, I forgot one thing.
Yes.
I had to call at the last, when I saw the weather was going to be good, I called at the last second for Chief Ludley to get our deputies over here to support. So we've got deputies all around supporting and making sure that everything's good. Do you mind just giving them a round of applause?
Okay, I want to introduce you to Elijah Phillips. And did I say that? All right, Elijah Williams. Very nice to have you, sir. And what we had asked all of our partners, we'd love to have somebody, a young person, speak about their perspective and their, from their perspective, what Dr. King did, what this is all about. So, Elijah, tell your story. Tell us your story.
Hello y'all, how y'all doing? So, like you said, my name is Elijah Williams. I'm from East Shore, down here neighborhood in the 9th Ward, and like I said, I just wanted to speak about Dr. King and a few ways he's impacted me in my life. First thing that I wanted to refer to was his "I Have a Dream" speech. Like a lot of other people out here, so like a lot of y'all, I haven't came from the greatest circumstances. I didn't have a lot growing up. I came from a rough area. My mom drove school buses growing up. I didn't have a father, so there was a lot of things that was really, rough for me growing up. And they had a lot of things, that I had to figure out, in life. But Dr. King always had the influence on me that I could continue to push forward regardless of whatever struggles that I may be challenging or facing. Dr. King influenced me to know that I can be a leader and I can have a dream regardless of what position I am in. And if I continue to work, put the work in on myself and take steps forward, I can put myself in whatever position I want to be in life regardless of the struggles I may have had and what I may have been through. I also wanted to speak to Dr. King's message on economic inequalities and economic prosperity. My opinion on that, sorry y'all, I don't need to but like I said, he encouraged me to know that I could move forward regardless of whatever. One of the things that he spoke to was a lot of the economic challenges that we face, you know, as a result of different policies that have been in place since America, you know, has started different, you know, civil rights policies. Y'all know everything that goes on. But, like I said, he always keeps a message of strength, a message of going forward, a message of, you know, gaining knowledge within yourself. And in my life, I have seen how me gaining knowledge, how me being able to push forward, how me having a dream within myself and taking steps forward in different areas that I have been pursuing have allowed me to not only put myself in a better economic space, but in a better, you know, mental space through a lot of things I've dealt with growing up. So that's what I just wanted to speak to. Dr. King inspired me a lot to know that as long as, you know, I'm trying to push forward to being the best version of myself, trying to reach whatever goals I have and trying to have an impact on the people that I have, as long as I develop myself internally and keep growing, there's no way, you know, that I won't be able to be successful. So that was Martin Luther King's impact that he had on me.
Hey, y'all give it up one more time.
Right now, I want to just give a shout out to a couple of people. Dr. Jeff. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Doctor. Come on. This man just went and got the rabies, so, you know, gotta give it to him.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Jeff. I'm with the Third Line NOLA. We partner with 200 male leaders and Unity Safe Community Center on this special day. It's always been our mission to empower the community by bringing resources, but also cultural preservation. Dr. King was so important to me and guided me to be the person I am today, as well as the civil rights leaders from New Orleans. Dodie Smith, Big Duck, Avery C. Alexander, A.L. Davis, and a number of other civil rights activists. And my grandmother, Marika Mathis. I can't miss her. But I was able to sit at the feet of the elders and learn from them personally. And part of our mission at the Third Line is to give youth that opportunity also. So we definitely want to pay that forward and bring the youth and inspire them to become tomorrow's leaders or even today's leaders, because they can start even today. A lot of these civil rights leaders started as youth. They started as youth. So you guys are the future, but you also are the present. I'm saying you can affect this community because you know what affects your life and the lives of your family. So I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here, share a few words, and partner to change the community. And I love my community and I love you guys.
Thank you, Dr. All right. So, this is my good friend, my sister, Pastor Rosalind Theodore, better known as Ra-Ra. And we've been knowing each other for many, well, we're not going to say, because I don't say how old we are. So, yeah. Ra-Ra has always been about the children. And she organized Treme Kids years ago, and she's watched and mentored many babies coming up in our community. So I want to thank you, Sister Ra-Ra, for all you do. Let's give Sister Ra-Ra a round of applause. So, again, these children, you know, all weekend long, what we doing, and everything kept changing. Every time I called Ra-Ra, you know what she said? We ready to roll. We ready to roll. We're not stopping nothing. Let's go out and do it for Dr. King. And so these children came out today to do that. We also have another group, and I want you to tell about these children that you have.
All right. Greetings to everybody. Greetings. Where we standing, I tell the children all the time. I always like to get the children history. Where they standing is culture. Where they standing is history. I told a few of them that tree carry a lot. That's an ancestor tree. When the drummers went to playing the drumming, I told one of the little girls, I say your shoulders might go to humping. You might feel like you want to dance because her uncle Squirky danced out here for years. And if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. Your uncle Fat Man played drums out here for years. I just don't like the kids to not know where they come from in their history and their marches that they march to. You don't just go out there just the second line and not know what your second line is for. Learn your history of what you're doing. And that's where my heart is. And for Martin Luther King, he just was a freedom fighter. You know, he was a minister, you know. So that was the impact with Martin Luther King on me. Ministering to kids is what I value most. And I have another minister in, come here. Another one of our evangelists that came out with me that helped me get the kids started. And Chiquita, come here, with 9 times kids. And man, come here. This is what we're looking at, what is the kids that's coming up now. Yeah. Because our generation, we had to stand on shoulders. Amen. And the ones before us had to stand on shoulders. We need kids to stand on our shoulders when we're gone. And this is the kids of New Orleans culture. This is the kids that we got to continue to teach, pray for, and have unity. And that's what Martin Luther King will have love. So thank you, Seth. Thank you so much. Morgan, thank you so much. Love you, girl. Woo! Yeah, I have one that wants to say so. Where Remy at? Remy and Lex. Behind it? Where Remy? Come on, Remy. Remy and Lex. Come on, Remy.
Come on, Lex.
Remy left?
No, she in the car. She in the car with the baby. She right there.
Okay, come on, Lex.
Come on, Lex.
Shiloh, come here. Get them there. This is one of the babies, and this is one of the, you see the generations, how they grow. And then you got Remy. This is one of the musicians, 2 musicians that just passed away. That was Squirky Man and Fat Man. This is the one I told, if you feel like you, don't ever be shy or be scared because that rhythm is in you. You was birthed with that. You come from ancestors of that. Don't be scared of that. This is Lex. Lex come underneath with Tremie kids. She was a little girl. Before she went to 9 times, I had her now. I feel I'm in there, I had them now. So I like to keep the children together. You know, whether it is no division. You'll never speak, I'll never speak division with the kids. And if Remy was here, she'll tell you, never division, never competition. You're all in this as one body of Christ. So I'm gonna let Lex, you remember Rose Pauls? Well, come on, we can't wait for Remy now. You scared to say it? You scared to recite it? That's okay. You remember it? You remember it? Okay, let's go. Yeah. You got this. I tell you. You got this. Come on, Lex, you got this. We got you. Okay? Thank you, Sister Rose. Sister Rose, you remember that one? No, I don't know. That's okay, that's okay. Come in, Ian. Yeah. Come in. Yeah, right. Let's just get a children a quick little word. Yeah. All right?
We just thank God for coming out here. We just thank God that we come together on one accord. They say, how can 2 walk unless they agree? Right now, we're agreeing. We're coming together for the community. We're coming together for the city. We're coming together for the people, and most of all, for the kids, which is our future. This is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. We don't want to leave that part out. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He followed behind Christ, and he echoed the words of love one another, and he echoed the words of peace, because Christ was the Prince of Peace. And you can't have freedom unless the Son sets you free. And the words say, if the Son sets you free, you are free. So I just thank God for this time to give back to the community, to give back to these kids, and to give back to myself. I thank God for all y'all coming out. In Jesus' name, amen.
Now she can recite Rosa Parks right quick. You ready? You ready? Come on, Remy.
You gonna say it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Sister Rosa. You are that spark that starts the movement.
Thank you, Sister Rosa Parks.
The 40s came without no fail, and 64 was all too good. And $14 was her fine, and
it. Martin Luther King said, it wasn't our time. Amen. Thank you, y'all. Thank you.
So that was so heartfelt and so amazing because part of our intention with this is to make sure our children and our elders know each other. That our elders know that there is a future and that our children understand that Dr. King and all of our ancestors are not distant icons, but part of their history and part of their life. And we have living legends as well. And we all need to know each other and have that cross-generation. Son, thank you so much for coming. Sonny Patterson. Woo!
Yes.
Oh, I have to say who this is. Are we ready?
Okay. First off, you know, I'm Morgan and Seth. Number one, anytime they ask you to do something, you know, anytime Seth's gonna ask, Seth's our little night ward angel. We're gonna work it out. But, you know, I'm grateful for this because we talk about weather. You know, one of my elders said, look at how this weather is moving because there's going to be some cold days ahead. But what I know for a fact is that when it also comes to weather for us, because all of that changes, weather changes, right? Today is sunny, tomorrow, ice. It's going to be something else, right? But the reality is that the only weather that really matters is whether or not we are going to stand for justice. Is whether or not we are going to love one another. Is whether or not we are going to stand in truth and honesty and whatever that means. That's the real weather that we need to be concerned about in this time. Now, this is not saying that now, because King was also one who talked about climate matters and everything else. And I'm with a climate organization, I'm big on when we're talking about climate, but also what it means to clear the air. And this is how we clear the air. When we're talking about community gatherings, the community coming together, this is how we clear the air. So when we look at the word community, there's a quote at the beginning that says together, but then there's this word unity. And that's attached to another word, like immunity. Yes. That's attached to another word even, ammunition. So these are things that when we use this aspect, and what we know about an immune system is that it protects you from illnesses, it protects you from disease, it protects you from all of these kind of things, right? So when we're talking about the disease and illness of racism, my 6-year-old said this morning, he said, you know the thing about racists? They love racism. That's simple. That's simple. That's easy. Right? So if this can come, because what we know even, so that's why I love when, you know, when we're saying yes, the future, but also the present. So even when we look at that word present as in right now, but present also present. So all of these are present moments that's coming to us that we're dealing with right now. So we're talking about the present, and just like King would say, this is the urgency, the fierce urgency of the now. Right? So, you know, this is something beautiful. I just want to read something too, as this is his words. He said, the plea for unity is not a call, you spoke to this, Brother Royce. A plea for unity is not a call for uniformity. There must always be a healthy debate. There will be inevitable differences of opinion. The dilemma that we face confront is so complex and monumental that its solution will of necessity involve a diverse approach. Right? Because everybody not going to approach something in the same way. We can look at our body. Your liver does not perform the same work as your spleen. Your gallbladder does not perform the same work as your heart. But all of these things have to come together to create a unified whole so that we can all walk and live and be, right? So we can't say that we can't work together when we got all of these differing parts within ourselves that show us how things can come together in order for us to be one. So we can miss the other argument, right? He says, there are already structured forces in the community that can serve as the basis for building a powerful united front. There's the church, there's the Negro Press, he says, there's fraternities and sororities, there are professional associations. But we must admit that these forces have never given their full resources to the cause of our liberation. If we honest. We honest, right? We together as a family? Okay, I'm just making sure. He said there are still too many churches that are so absorbed in the future good of going up yonder that they condition their members to adjust to the present evils over here. Too many newspapers have veered away from their traditional role as protest organs agitating for social change and have turned to the sensational and the conservative in place of the militant. Too many social and professional groups have degenerated into snobbishness and a preoccupation with all these other trivial activities. But the failures of the past must not be an excuse for the inaction of the present and the future. Ooh. That's power. That's power. King, if people think that King only had a dream, but if we can't envision something here, if we can't dream about it, if we can't see it here, guess where else we not gonna see it? Out here. So people like to talk about the dreamer. People like to talk about the dream, but we don't like to talk about the manifestations of it. The manifestations of it. Here we are. We got Elijah to tell us that. We got you to tell us that. We got you to tell us that. We got everybody that has come up here and everybody that hasn't said something to tell us and give us the beauty and wonder of the manifestation of a dream. How powerful is that? That's a powerful thing. So in that vein, great ancestors, you are breath. You are a bridge. You carry us over tumultuous time. You who can hear and answer with quick remedy. You are ready before we ask. You who can speak through tongues of trees and fire and water. This earth cannot hold you. We pound the ground and you appear, O ancient ones. You who can make lightning strike with the flick of a skirt. You who can make tornado turn with the spin and span of hips take us there to the place of knowing, to the hall that leads to the doorway of you, O holy ones. You of the first light, you who know the potential of possibility, pulsing in the dark, deliver us unto our gifts. You who have sunlight in your fingertips, touch our drums, make us hear the rising, make us move a steady stump, a choir of voices so majestic, heaven hides us in a tapestry of light. Oh, we are stars, blankets of wonder, sky bright eyes seeing the invisible, visible. You who have returned, you have turned our faces so that we see ourselves, and we have found you again in places, oh my God, in places we would have never imagined. You make our limits infinitely long. Our vision is clearer with eyes closed, and even there, you still stand in full color, vibrant and eager to serve. All right. So amen. All right. The beauty and wonder of our ancestors is something that is undeniable. It's something that we might not, you have a lot of people that we hear this word ancestor, we start thinking ghosts. We don't believe in ghosts. We don't believe in ghosts. We believe in a right here, very present element and essence of the greatness of God. And I'm looking at, in every eye I look in, I'm seeing the beauty and wonder of that. I'm seeing every facet of God there is. So Mama said, okay, we know that this tree, we know that this air, we know that this city, we're talking about a city that was built on, we know how we get here. That don't mean that all of us got here that way, but we know how we got here. Yeah. That's another situation. We had names,
yes,
I don't
we
know.
do. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to say their names, right? We're going to say them together. And we're just going to call those freedom fighters, starting with Rampart.
I'm going to also start with my Uncle Rudy Lombard.
Rudy Lombard, right.
We're going to go, we had names. We had Avery Alexander.
Let's do that chant that we talked about. So let's say it.
You got to tell me the chant. Oh, that's good. So this is good. So what we did, we sure did talk about.
Yes, we did.
What we did talk about.
Good. Okay, so let's start. Rampart.
Come
on, everybody.
So the thing is, and why this is important, she'll say the name, we'll just repeat the name. This is for us to just solidify this essence of presence, right? And solidify our essence of presence so that this is something that is repeated within our beings.
Rampart.
Rudy Lombard.
Oma Plessy. Big Chief Tootie Montana. All right. Lolis Eli. Leah and Dookie Chase. Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Aretha Castle Haley. Core. Jerome Big Duck.
I want to clarify.
He's living.
So what it is that she's saying is not just ones who have transitioned. These are, so she's calling also, just look, just so
we clear.
We're calling the names too of both those who have transitioned and those who are still with us.
Then let me just say the couple of names I'm about to tell you. A lot of y'all may not remember, but they fought for Tremaine for years and years. Jim Hayes. Ron Chisholm, who is still there. Ron Chisholm. Yes. Mr. Ramsey. I think he's 93 right now. And Mr. Ramsey. Come on. Mr. Reed. Morris X. Jeff.
As soon as he said Dr. Jeff.
Come on, y'all. Say that name.
And everybody join in.
Ronald Lewis.
Uncle Lionel Baptiste.
Uncle Lionel Baptiste. Mama Dodie. She's still with us.
Mama D.
Last stop was right here in New Orleans.
Why say Milo?
Freddie Milo Johnson. He's still living. 5 boys. Nikki Giovanni. Maya Angelou.
Carrie Fatman Hunter.
Children. Y'all got somebody you want to call? George Washington Carver. Yes, sir. All right.
John Lewis.
All right.
Yeah, continue on.
John Lewis. All right.
And there are many more names.
Many more.
And this is also, and while we're doing this work, we're gathering for the names we know and the ones who we do not know. That's the whole point of this. That our coming together, this too, again, the weather is, let's go back to that. What is the real weather? That's whether or not we are going to stand in justice, whether or not we're going to stand in unity, whether or not we're going to be in love, because that's a revolutionary thing, to be able to lead with love, not to just develop it at a certain point, but to start on it, to stand on it, and be in it. This is what this example is. This is what you have done. This is what you have done, says what you continue to do. This is what you do in your work. You do what everybody does in their work in this way, that the foundation is on love. That is what we stand on. And if we know we can stand on that, then we can't go below it. So to stand on it says something else, because we know that carries us. We can say we're standing on these shoulders, but the reality is that our mama Denise would always say, we all got to be shoulder strong, she said, to make sure that when these babies are ready, because we got to remember, when we're talking about this civil rights fight and this human rights fight, babies like this was going to jail. This wasn't just for elders. When we think about somebody like Baba Farouk, who spent over 40 years in Angola. And we talking about the Black Panther Party. We're talking about surviving New Orleans police banging at them.
Malik Rahim.
Right? So when we're talking about this work, and we're talking about this work, and we're talking about this internal work that our brother Elijah reminded us of, truly, we can't miss. We can't go wrong if we tap into that. If we tap into a Seth kind of love, we tap into a Morgan kind of love, we tap into the type of love, a Lola Keys kind of love. If we tap into these kind of things, how can we miss? When we second line in the street, how can we miss? Because we're not second lining just for a dance.
That's right.
When we second line, you know what happens? They say when we second line, the same note that corresponds to the feet, there's a reason why we call it footwork. The same note that correlates to the feet, which is like a B note. You know a second line song is played in like B flat?
Yes.
You can't make that up.
Yeah.
You can't make it up. So when we dancing in the street and people try to figure out how we dancing and suffering at the same time, we say we are healing our central nervous system. We say we working through our grief in the best way that we can. This is our medicine. This is what we do. Either you can take our medicine or you can leave our medicine. Yeah. So the reality is that we are healing ourselves in the best and highest and most appropriate way. Our culture is here to heal us. And if our culture is not healing us,
What we got?
So listen up. So lastly, I just want to say that, of course, me and Morgan coming together is a show of unity, right? And to show everybody how community, when we come together as it relates to today, the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King, is about power. And it's about community power. And so we just want to show the people in our community what it looks like to come together in unity and then also have the support of our elected officials. You can do everything you want to do in this city instead of, attacking and blaming the elected officials. You can work together and show what the real power looks like and how it looks like. And so we want to be the bridge, the influencers that come together and say, we want to support our elected officials and doing the work that's going to make New Orleans a better place in the future, right? And this is what it looks like when we all come together and show that community power. And so this is one of the things Dr. King utilized in the communities and the spaces that he went in, and we want to show the young people in our community what that looks like today. So we appreciate everybody coming out. We're about to get started.
Yeah, we got the band about to strike up, but before we move on to that, we just want to thank everybody who came out, everybody who supported this, everybody who stuck by all the changes, all the back and forth, because we knew this had to be done. All we heard since Friday was MLK canceled, MLK canceled, MLK canceled, and we wasn't having it. So we have to do more to celebrate Dr. King, celebrate ourselves, stand on freedom, stand with each other. There's power in unity, and that equals freedom. All right? All right. All right. All right, man, let's strike it up.
Oh, excuse me.
Just one more.
everybody in the school go in the yard. I went out the fence to come back to get in the line. I was in 2nd grade. Boy, my grandma beat me. Cussed me, I was beat.
All right, thank you, Lord.
That's your first one. Many more.
Listen up, everybody, please. Listen up.
Noted. So look, we have our good friend, our honored person, Jerome Big Duck Smith here, and we need to say a blessing and give him his flowers. What you say, y'all? Sonny, come on now.
Wait a minute.
Come give the blessing.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Come on, speak. Speak, Doug.
I was a young boy and I had a severe speech impediment. And they had the brothers with the music from across the street. Because this is my school. I came here. What I learned here, I dealt with Lee Strasberg. I had conversations with Sidney Poitier, Marlon Brando. But a confidence of what I got with these feet that got in this head, I could transfer words to meet certain dynamics of emotion. And it started right here in the 6th ward. Can you imagine? Marlon Brando came looking for me because he was doing a thing with Sidney Poitier by Lorraine Barry's house. And what I learned as a child outside of these doors, I mean in 3rd grade and this, that, and the other, we had a command of ourselves. So when I got out of in the Civil Rights Movement, I got out of jail in Mississippi. They sent me to the hospital, but in New York. Sidney Poitier paid for all of that. And then this where this New Orleans thing comes in. It's not just the instrument. It's not just the instrument. It's not just a sketch on a book. It ain't none of that. What I learned here as a young boy, and when I got into that civil rights thing, I'm going in and out of them jails. You call a name, but I done met them. All right? So I get out of jail in Mississippi from a poisoning. So now when I was up in New York, they had some man that was with a fella named Lee Strasberg. He owned the actor studio. But what I learned on these streets, I was able to interpret motion and words in ways that some folks had finished from the most high schools or colleges in the country. You see, so when a child get a moment to live some of this and see you fighting to put them in position, my grandmother used to slap me in my head. If that band be coming, and I don't honor them by listening or trying to do a little something, my grandmother would slap me. Nah. When I got up in New York, I hadn't met all the great ones. Lee Strasberg, Sidney Poitier, Marlon Brando, all kind of musicians. But guess what? There's something in the interior of the sounds that I got out there in that street. The interior of the sound. That's like the gift of the womb. You know, you don't book that. That's an inheritance. No, because I was so young. I'm just in 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th grade. And that's before I got a beating one time because I was to meet my grandmother to go to the market. But I got caught up on that band on Claiborne Street. I forgot about the market. Here come Hazel. Hazel coming on there with not a stick, a broomstick. Because I was supposed to be there to carry them bags, you know. But that power from that music and what's need to be in all these instruments made me stay there and helped to make me what I am. So those sounds it's hard to explain.
I think you're doing a great job.
You know,
thank you for your grandma.
It's really so much There's so much on that mud out there. So much. We used to sneak out the window. We go in the industrial arts class like we in the law something. We hear a band, we climb out the window, and then we turn the corner, go all the way around and meet the band. Now I know I'm gonna get my behind bus, but I'm gonna follow that band. So what that made me do, that made me always try to make good grades in school. So my grandmama, I know she gonna protect me. And my mama gonna try to kill me. So you say, my grandma Hazel said, you seen that boy's report card? Because she saved all that. Everything. I said, look at that. I said, you ain't gonna hit him today. You know, so we had that great love affair. This is a great place. I don't know how much it done been compromised. Because you can't make the achievement to create a person like me if you try to define a child by another measuring stick. You know? So one of the things, I had this tremendous impediment in speech. So one day I'm in New York, me and John Lewis was together. I got injured in one of them demonstrations. But they had something this man wanted to meet. I said, man, I'm going on back to Harlem. He said, no, please come. So the man that wanted to meet me, he did some work with Marlon Brando. His name was Lee Strasberg. And somebody had a tape where we was on the streets here, but down by the Caledonia, right? And he could not believe the conversation that we was having among ourselves, just like we was doing outside this now. Yes. So Marlon Brando's teacher is Lee Strasberg, right? Lee Strasberg wanted to send me to college. I said, what kind of band you have? I said, I ain't going there, man.
What kind of band they have?
Because everybody in the neighborhood could play something. Right. You understand? Everybody could play. So I fooled around when I got in high school around there by Clark. Where I said, I'm going to Sutton. Now I ain't had my mind on their book. But I had heard that big sound, that big round sound. So I wanted to be in that Southern band, you know. But I had them great teachers there. I wasn't gonna fail nothing. It's so much we had there. We come, man, I think y'all.
Nephew play a song for you right now?
Yeah.
Can Bunny and them play a song for you? Come on, brother. What you want to hear, Doug?
Whatever. Max was, I think they were too. But Max used to do a lot in that civil rights thing. And that's how I got to be there. And Miles started to us over in Mississippi, wherever. They don't answer. So I heard him speaking to another musician. And then he said one of the hippest things that he was going on that was not, that did not get the correct coverage was the music in New Orleans. You know, but it's not just the traditional jazz. It's the imposition of sounds that come from where those musicians were born down there. In other words, that's something, he called it pension, Miles Davis. It's a kind of pension that's in your nature. You know, that don't come from no book or nothing. Yes, I was sitting there with Miles, you know. I said, God damn, Miles.
That comes from him having that musical instinct.
Oh, yeah, but see, but it's spiritual.
Yeah.
See, everything y'all do is spiritual. You know, because the church can falsify the truth. The breath of your person, which is the breath of life, that's not a falsified truth. So that's greater than the church. I wouldn't allow them, you know, or him and Max Roach. Max Roach was, I was in jail and stuff with that thing, and that civil rights thing, but Max Roach was a great supporter of that movement. And so I had got hurt, and me and John Lewis and them got hurt and something one at a time. So Max and Miles and them, they had a certain kind of, but most so Max, they could have been into it, you know. So God just blessed me. I was able to something about the space, man.
Now it's a powerful space to be in. I'm appreciative to follow in those footsteps and doing the work.
We get a gift, man. We got a gift.
Answer the call.
Yeah, we got a gift. I tell you what, in this building, when I was in this school, right, I'm sitting and I was with, you see, Max Roach was there, James Baldwin was there, the Ryan Terry, and this, that, and the other. I forget the name. So I was with John Lewis and them. They come to see me. I had got hurt in Mississippi on a demonstration, and I was in jail. Me and John was in jail together, but you had to get me to the hospital. They say, no, let's send him to New York. So when I get to New York, Lorraine Hansberry had put all these folks together to come with 4 of us. They sent us up there so we could get treatment and stuff. Then what I realized, there's a persistence in the deliverance of sound that's greater than the verbalization of the church. Because the sound always has a commitment to life. And then you can direct it, but it's usage. Because I suppose Miles and them having this conversation with Miles, Max Roach, Lorraine Hansberry, some of them entertainers, I mean the musicians used to tutor us. So Lorraine was my tutor, and she had Max Roach, well, she had James Baldwin would come with folks, but they had to put us out of school, so they used to invite us to all kind of stuff. Then I realized that was right outside the door. When I would step out here, ain't nothing greater than this place, man. I mean, I'm in the house. I had been beaten by the Klan. I had been poisoned. They thought I wasn't gonna make it, and I started humming things. You know. And then I kept coming back to us going down the block by the Caledonia, sitting on a shoe shine stand, you know, and just listening to whoever would come. So by me doing all them different things, when I was in New York in that hospital, well, that meant I'm fighting. That's life. What we hear that sound, that's life. So that was better for me than medicine, because I kept going toward that sound. You know? And there's so much grace. There's such greatness in here that we lose it, man. I mean, it's hard to explain. Can you imagine? I come out of school here. I go to school around that block club. I get involved in that civil rights movement. Yeah, I'm going to these places. This great lady come. Her name was Lorraine Hansberry. And I was in a little van or something in the hospital there. So she come and we made the conversation. And I said, Lorraine, I hear what I hear in first grade at the elementary school coming through the window. You know? She said, yeah, but you catch on like this, you catch on like this. I said, but that's every day, and we ain't defining and giving it but its value. You know? So she had heard of an unsound trumpet player for me. I mean, he never was given the recognition he should have. And his name was James Black. James Black lived around the corner there. And we was in the high school band in here. So the sister was there, was a friend of another great drummer, Max Rose, all right? And so Max Rose said, oh no, he said no, he learned that. He didn't learn that from a teacher. He carried, she called it the spirit of the womb. He came out of his mother with the calculating beats. You know, some have it, some don't. He was one of the ones that had it. And he lived right around the corner there. And James Black and I was in the high school, man. I appreciate this, man. Appreciate you coming here, man. But the one thing I learned, ain't nothing better than I done met them all. I went into to the White House one day, and we had some kids there. Well, about the older men, if they would see us sitting around here somewhere, because I went to school there when I was a little boy. Right. So they would stop, talk to us, this, that, and the other. And if he passed them up, say, wait, where you going? I'm going. I say, you ain't going to the damn place. You better say good evening.
Facts. You better say something.
But guess what? That helped me in a lot of stuff that I was involved with. You know? One day this man was on my back and he tapped on my shoulder and said, young man, I know this doctor. I said, what's Dr. King? That was Dr. King. He had heard me saying good evening. Yeah. By his place, these young lords and some other folks, but I was the only one, you know, because it's out of habit. Speaking like that. That's our nature. That's our nature. Yeah. You know, and he just stood up and he had seen me do that several times. Yeah. He said, man, but you go to church all the time because that church, because you recognize the spirit of the other. You give yourself to the other. Yeah. And Martin was, he stayed there, but now we come out the house with that, man. And that was so many great. So you touch her on the shoulder? Yeah, man, that was a great one. God bless me. Right. You know, that was great moment. It's so much that we done lost. There's a wizard right there.
Yeah, I got you, true wizard.